I think it's important to understand the concept of FIRE. Okay. FIRE is financially independent, retire early. And the most important concept to understand here is that retirement is not an age. It's a number. It's the number at which you're financially independent. And you can quibble about the 4% guideline, but it's pretty useful to determine about how much you need to be financially independent. The equation's very easy, right? You just reverse engineer 4% into 25x, right? So 25x what you spend every year, including taxes and any advisory fees, is how much you need to be financially independent. So if you spend $100,000 a year, you need 2.5 million to be financially independent. If you spend 200,000 a year, it's 5 million. If you spend $300,000 a year, it's 7.5 million. If you spend $400,000 a year, it's 10 million, right? And that'll get you in the ballpark about how much you need to be financially independent. Now, how do you get there? Well, especially with getting there rapidly, but anytime, it basically boils down to your income and your savings rate, right? The more you save, the less you need in retirement, and the more you have to put into your investment accounts where that money can compound, right? So you can make a chart. If you're saving 0% of your income, you're never going to be financially independent. You're going to work until the day you die, unless, maybe you're living on Social Security or something. If you're saving 100% of your income, you're already financially independent, right? Because you don't need any of your income to live. I don't know what you're living on, but you don't need your income to do it. Everybody else is somewhere in between 0% and 100%. Now, the recommendation I make to most doctors is that they save about 20% of their gross income for retirement throughout their career. And over the course of a 30-ish year career, that'll get most doctors to the point where they can maintain their standard of living during retirement. Okay? If they'll save 20% of their gross throughout their career, they ought to have enough by the time 30 years have passed that they can maintain that standard. Now, if you want to retire earlier than that, you got to save more, right? You save 25% or 30% or 40%, and you start seeing the years being knocked off to the point where you do what this couple did, and you're saving 50% and 60% and 70% of your gross income. You get to financial independence pretty quickly. Now, obviously, income matters, right? It's just way easier to save a lot of money when you make $800,000 a year than when you make $150,000 a year. And frankly, the vast majority of people dramatically overestimate the difficulty of doubling their income, right? There's lots of ways to increase your income. It's harder the more you make, of course. But when you have a $30,000 a year job, just doing a little Uber in the evenings might double your income, right? But for other people, it's getting an additional certification. It's getting an additional degree. It's negotiating better your next job opportunity. It's changing jobs. It's asking for a raise. It's starting a side gig. Those are the ways you increase your income. When you increase your income, you're going to pay more in taxes, but you also have more income available to save to get you toward financial independence. Now, you may not value becoming financially independent at 35 or 45, right? That's totally fine, right? There's no reason you have to be financially independent early. You're not like a failure if you don't fire by any means. In fact, I would love for doctors to be so happy with their work that they'll stick with it until they're 55 and 60 and 65 and 70. But I want them to be doing it because they love it. And I want them to be doing it on their own terms. And financial independence allows you to make the decisions and the changes in your career and your job that allow you to do that. So even if you don't retire early, moving toward financial independence and becoming financially independent will open up those options for you. Okay? So I hope that's helpful in understanding the concept of financial independence.
The hosts of The White Coat Investor are not licensed accountants, attorneys, or financial advisors. This podcast is for your entertainment and information only. It should not be considered professional or personalized financial advice. You should consult the appropriate professional for specific advice relating to your situation.